What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining me on D's Analysis. We're going to be checking out MSTR and Bitcoin today. Just going to do like a outlook, what I'm looking for, different levels to keep an eye out on, pretty much the usual. A rundown here on MSTR. We're currently sitting at 342 or so in the after hours market. If you take a look like on Robinhood or something, you can see the overnight trading. So you can take a look at that and see we're sitting at 342, but of course it always varies. When the market opens up, it'll more than likely be at a completely different number. That's usually how it goes, but that's just the timing of this video. It's sitting at 342. We did close at 344.75. Weekly close dead smack in the middle, stuck in between this range here. We're looking to, like I already said, somewhat chop and make a decision to the upside or to the downside. Upside looking something like this, where a break and a retest and potentially making our next target this downward sloping trend line. That's on the bullish side. And on the bearish side would be chopping, falling through, retesting, and then starting to look for targets down here. Of course, that's going to vary based off of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is sitting at 114, seeing a little bit of a drop over the weekend currently. It just fell underneath 115 like maybe a few hours ago, or hour, or maybe 2 hours ago, something like that. Overall, though, the structure is still fine. Nothing has really changed vastly, especially when you take a look at Bitcoin. Pretty much a normal behavior, nothing too drastic. Now, one thing that we have seen is we had this upward sloping trend line that we drew out, and we did get a close underneath it. No retest yet of this upward sloping trend line, but we have fallen further down. Now, this is the daily chart. We still have 21 hours left, and we're sitting at 114.3K, which is pretty much in line with this support level right here. If we were to lose this, we could potentially land down here at this major level of support here. Now, it's still early in the day, so we'll see if this turns into a wick and turns into a nice green candle, and we use this as support. Right now, from the looks of it, this is going to be more of a resistance level, acting as a ceiling opposed to being a support level. We were hoping as we pushed up, this would hold and continue the trend higher and hopefully create some kind of ascending triangle for an explosive move to the upside. That's what we wanted to see right now. It's not that this isn't going to play out, the ascending triangle, but we have some kind of deviation, at least temporarily, or maybe the upward sloping trend line isn't as steep as we thought. And maybe the trend line that we should be focused on is this one over here, somewhere like that. And maybe we're just touching it now. Maybe this is the real trend line. So maybe that's what we should be keeping our eye on. Of course, there's always different ways of looking at the market and these charts, but that's kind of what we're looking at right now. The structure is still incredibly bullish when you pull a fib. So we'll do a smaller time frame one or a smaller piece of data. We'd be sitting at the 0.5 of the 618, which is a golden zone. Key level for some kind of reversal back to the upside, or continuation, I would say. A reversal in terms of this piece here, reversing back to the upside, or like I said, it would be some kind of continuation of this original move here, a little bit of a pullback, and then that continuation up. And if we pull it back down further, a bounce here at the 382 could be a very bullish sign. If we get a bounce here, that's going to show that continuation to the upside, and that we have a lot of momentum carrying price to higher targets. And when you actually pull the fib from this point to here, you can kind of see a nice little trend line, this little dotted line. It's like you could almost use that as, it's almost the exact same trend line that I drew out is pretty interesting. We'll see where it takes us, but right now, still range bound in terms of this piece here and this piece. Overall, though, this structure here is bullish in nature, and we have to keep in mind that we have this bearish continuation, the 0.5 of 618 right here, this major golden zone to the downside, this whole box right here. You can see we pushed up to it, couldn't even break past the 618, and we found that rejection, and now we're back underneath it. So it's going to be a major level that we have to break. But if we can actually flip this and start to use it as support, that would be major. That would be a sign for a major move to the upside. That's what we want to see. And when we take a look at the weekly, we're still holding well above the 20-week SMA. It's sitting at around 112, and we're currently sitting at 114. Maybe we come into contact with it before another move up higher. On the daily, we are sitting on top of our 50 and 20. Let's see if this acts as support and continues the move to higher targets. Global liquidity, like I said before, is continuing higher. When you take a look at the weekly, it looks pretty solid. So looks like nothing's really changing too much here. We'll see how it plays out over the next couple of weeks and months, see if this is a continuation higher and kind of lets us know that we have another leg higher for Bitcoin for another extended, month, 2 months, 3 months, who knows. But the longer this goes on, the more likely the move pushes into early 2026. But once this starts to dump off, then our top will, come following that dump off of the global liquidity. On the weekly EMA, we are coming right back into contact with it as we normally do. It has our short-term trends. This is the weekly. So that is sitting at around 114, 113.8, somewhere around there. Maybe we come into contact and bounce off of there. And on the daily, we just fell underneath it, retested, and had to move off of it. So we did have a nice short-term move, and now it looks like we could be getting a reset, or this is a start of a bearish move. We'll, of course, see with time. Hopefully, it's just a little cool-off period for a continuation higher. Weekly RSI is still sitting above the midline, but we are not in overbought territory yet, and we're still sitting underneath our yellow moving average. But the trend is still bullish in nature. It looked like it was trying to be some kind of double top, but we'll see if it actually plays out. Looks like it's trying to actually make a little move higher. We're having a little cool-off period after a nice little V-shaped move, trending sideways. We'll see if the continuation to the upside occurs. And we did break underneath our yellow moving average here, and we're right at the 50 mark here. Essentially about to go into more bearish territory for the daily RSI. So I'll be keeping an eye out on that to see if we have any weakness or strength being shown in Bitcoin. And on the MACD, for the weekly, we're in bullish territory, but we have a red flip right now. So the momentum's negative, but we're still in major bullish territory. And on the daily, we had a nice move up. It was looking pretty strong. And then you can see the momentum to the upside died out. And now we're starting to see the flip of the blue over the orange. So it looks like momentum starting to push towards the downside. And we could get another red flip back down again. The monthly close is approaching. We have 8 days and 22 hours. So we'll be watching that. We want to at least maintain a close above 116 to kind of get that momentum continued to the upside. If not, at the bare minimum, we want to hold at least around 109.5 to around 110, ideally above these wicks, and that'll give us a little bit of an increased chance of seeing higher targets. But once we start closing underneath this structure, we're going to start looking at targets to the downside, looking at these levels over here. Tether dominance continues to go sideways after this nice leg down. So we're still thinking this could potentially be a nice bear flag. We'll see if it plays out. Of course, everything's subject to change. We'll see if it has a major move to the downside. If we just trend sideways and start to have a double bottom, or actually it could be like a inverse head and shoulders, your left shoulder here, your head, right shoulder, which would mean we see higher targets. And if that were to happen, then we would see a major downward spike on Bitcoin. Hopefully that doesn't happen. But at some point, I am expecting a major drawdown, because when you take a look at global liquidity, there is that point where there's just a major drawdown that will be occurring. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. And maybe this is trying to signal that. Hopefully not. I hope we don't get that major drawdown that I'm anticipating. I really just want to see a move down to this blue line and see that local top. But right now, for tether dominance, we are at one of the minor levels. We're pushing back up. Again, little double bottom here, pushing up higher. Hopefully we reject. It's still early in the day. We have 21 hours left. So if this turns into a little wick and starts pushing down, that'd be nice. Nice momentum. Like I said, little bear flags playing out here and there. So we'll see if the trend can continue and we see lower targets. Maybe the low 4.0, 4 flat. That'd be nice to see. And contact with this downward sloping trend line. On the SMAs, we have the 20 sitting at around 4.5. So I'm sure that's going to be a very strong level for resistance. I thought the daily 20 and 50 would have acted as a little bit more resistance, but we have tested it multiple times. As you can see, we had multiple touches, and the more you touch something, the weaker it gets. So maybe it just got a little bit of weakness, and price was able to break through here and see a nice little spike for tether dominance, resulting in a downturn on Bitcoin temporarily at least. ETH was outperforming Bitcoin for a while now. Has started to go sideways. The move could still be going on. At the same time, we ran into a major level right here. This trend line has been established all the way back from 2022. So seeing some rejection here is no surprise. We came into contact with this major golden zone here as well after a nice, V-shaped recovery. So seeing a little bit of downside isn't anything to worry about, especially when you pull a fib off of the bottom here. You can see that that's not even a pullback to the 236. So that's an incredibly bullish move. And if we move it up to more recent times, you can see it still to the 236. And if we move it all the way up here, then it's only a move to the 382. So either way you look at it on this piece here, it's incredibly bullish, and it's still invalidating this bearish move as we continue this move higher. So if ETH can start to continue, or start and continue, it's already started, but if it can reignite its move higher, break out, retest, and continue higher, that's gonna be a good sign for altcoin season to begin, which then we would see our nice move here on Bitcoin dominance to the downside. But if Bitcoin continues to outperform as it has been just in this last small time period, then you can expect this to go back up. But if ETH starts to outperform and then it trickles down the altcoin market to smaller market caps, then you can expect to see a nice move to the downside, just like we did here. And that's where we'll get our FOMO, where everything crypto related will start to boom, and everyone will be happy before seeing some kind of major drawdown and major crypto bear market. So that's pretty much all I have for you guys. Make sure you drop a like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one.